Hello my friends, my name is Artur and I am an Estonian YouTuber. Today we're going to do something that you advised me not to do, and I don't want to do it, but I have to because there's no other option, you know. Recently I watched a video about Navy SEALs, you know, the Special Forces, Special Unit in America. The video was horrible. It was just one of those 2000s TV advertising type. Come join the Navy SEALs. It was horrible stuff. I don't want to ever watch that kind of videos again. But I wanted to make it up to you, to watch a proper Navy SEALs video, and everything I saw, you couldn't really react to it. Like the video was too dull, or it wouldn't be interesting for you to watch. So today we're going to break all of the rules and watch the infographics show, because everybody knows they're just plain old false and wrong, and they just have so many factual miscorrections that you usually don't watch them. But today I will watch it. And let's try to live through this infographics video. But it's about Navy SEALs. Why won't you survive the Navy SEAL training? So I hate the cartoons here. I hate everything about infographics. But we have to go through it together today because there's no other video I could react to about Navy SEAls. I got my flag and my tea. Let's just survive this one, my friends.
In a remote corner of the world, 12 dark figures plummet through the nighttime sky, opening their parachutes just 2,000 feet above the ground so as not to give themselves away to the terrorist group below. Thousands of miles away, a cruel dictator sends his forces to crush rebels fighting to create a democratic government. A single laser beam, invisible to the naked eye, paints the lead tank, and moments later a barrage of Hellfire missiles devastate the entire formation. In the South China Sea, one nation's bullying has alarmed its smaller neighbors, and 100 feet below the waves, a diver delicately cuts into a communications cable and inserts a remote tap, giving US forces access to classified intelligence. These men are all members of one of the most elite group of special forces in the world, and today you're gonna find out if you've got what it takes to join their ranks. Could you survive Navy SEAL training? Special Operations Forces have existed in virtually every military. While not formally recognized as an actual military unit after World War II, I
don't think I could survive. I'm pretty athletic. I've been athletic all my life. I work out almost daily. I'm in good shape, but still, I watched recently a video about Estonian Special Forces, and the test lasted 7 days. The test, if they even accept you for the training. Usually 10 to 12 people take part of the tests, and only 2 make it. And they are all strong and fit, and just only 2 make it. It's really. I watched the test. It's impossible. You don't sleep for days. Like, I'm not kidding you. You don't. If you have gone 24 hours without sleep, I have. It's not a joke. It's pretty difficult to go second day with not sleeping. If you skip one night, the second day is already pretty difficult. And you people who say, "Oh, I can do it," no, going 2 days without sleep. Very difficult. Going 3 or 4 is impossible. You start to see things. You start to really see things. Your body starts to dysfunction. And these guys, yeah, they went many days without sleep, many days without eating, and they had to perform exercises with very stressful environments. So yeah, I would not have been able to do that. And I think Navy SEALs might be as difficult, maybe even more. I wouldn't get in. Nope, but I can watch it.
Operations forces have historically been tasked with missions too risky or delicate for normal troops to conduct. An operator is a cut above a normal soldier, typically more intelligent, better trained, and far better equipped. In modern times, special forces are asked to take on a variety of missions, and some are sent on.
Okay, I hate infographics cartoons. Look, why do they look pink? What the hell? Infographics show, if you're watching this, just fix your damn cartoons. They look so round and pink, they look fat almost. Like this, what is this blob of man? It's not a special force unit, it's like a guy who came out of McDonald's. Now if you're overweight, I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you, but this looks horrible. Fix it.
Operations so risky yet so vital for national security that they are forbidden from wearing any rank or insignia, or from carrying any personal identification. If caught, they will not be rescued by their government, who use their shadowy status to gain plausible deniability and avoid international repercussions. Special Ops forces come in a variety of types, each typically specialized or renowned for certain types of operations. Some, like the US Army's Rangers, are well known for operating behind enemy lines and recruiting and training partisan forces. Others, such as Germany's GSG-9, are world famous for counterterrorism operations. And if you're an evil terrorist, there's nobody you want knocking on your front door less than.
This is such like a Hollywood type video. You're either a good special force unit or you're an evil terrorist. America trained out most of the terrorists to fight against them right now. America actually has trained most of its enemies in the Middle East. I'm sorry, if you're American, you try and... Now, don't go all in defensive mode on me. I'm not picking sides here, I'm just saying how the history was. US usually fights these groups in the Middle East that they supported at one point or another. So it's not all about evil terrorists and good special force units. No, it's about politics, shifting opinions and shifting interests. And they switch enemies as fast as they switch friends. So yeah, that's how it is. That's just how US foreign policy works. Nothing against it. I'm not taking sides here. I'm just opening up the situation for you. And these infographics videos really paint the picture of bad terrorists, good special forces.
Germany's most elite cops. Yet, out of all the formidable special operations units throughout the world, few have the reputation or are as feared as the US Navy's SEALs. These elite warriors have a specialization that few others can match, as they're trained to operate from the sea, air, or land, hence the name SEAL, and sometimes operate in all three realms simultaneously with a drop from an aircraft over water, then requiring a swim to shore and a trek to the enemy. Specializing in everything from reconnaissance to direct action missions, or in Special Forces parlance, killing the enemy and breaking his shit. Navy SEALs have seen action all around the world, and few soldiers, present or past, are as skilled as these elite operators. But what is their training like, and do you really have what it takes to join the ranks of the SEALs? SEALs operate in the most dangerous and remote parts of the world, and thus their training program is meant to produce sailors who can handle any sort of situation without panicking. Unique amongst the other special operations units of the US military, SEALs on average lose more personnel in training than they do in actual combat, although the classified nature of some of their engagements might be keeping accurate combat casualties out.
Okay, they lose more personnel in training than they do in actual combat. That means the training is really damn tough. I think you could say the same about these Russian militant groups, Russian private security companies. We watched a video about them. The video was called "Russians Are Crazy." It got claimed. They claimed it immediately, so obviously they want to make money out of it. And they did, yeah. But in that video, the Russians trained by shooting live ammunition at each other. Now I checked, it was actually a very small caliber weapon. It was 22 LR, which is like half the size of 9mm. It would still kill you if you shoot it correctly, but they started in the plates. So I think that's the type of training that loses more personnel in the training than in the real combat. But I mean, of course, in the case of the Russians, they have no problem losing more personnel in the combat, because that's just how the Russians do things. But if US military group uses more personnel in the training, that means the training has to be really lethal, really damn lethal. Woo! I gotta take a sip of this. Ah, that's how lethal it is. You wanna drink this lethal tea from this nice cup? Please do. The link is in the description below. Get the cup for Christmas. You know, good cup. No one can take it from you. Somebody touches it, you say, it's my cup. It's my Estonian Youtuber Cup. You cannot touch this because this is mine. Look, the photo is here. So no one in your family will touch your cup again. That's why you should get it.
Out of the public eye. Blacking out underwater or suffering heat strokes are common, and drowning leads the way in SEAL training fatalities. Hardly surprising given the fact that SEALs must be expert swimmers. Injuries in SEAL training are commonplace and expected by the instructors, who always have medical personnel on standby. SEAL training is widely regarded as the most difficult in the world, and takes over 30 months for a candidate to complete his training and be ready for his first real deployment. During
30 months before you can go to your first deployment. And how many years is that? 2.5 years. 2.5 years you just train every damn day. You change your personality, your personal life, everything, you give it up. And then you can only go to your first mission. Yeah, this is tough as hell. These guys are tough as nails. I'm glad we're allies. I'm so glad we're allies. I wouldn't want to go against these guys in the combat. Yeah, poor Russians.
During that time, they will go through various evolutions or events in the training schedule, with each one designed to push candidates past their physical and mental limits. Of all who enter training to become a SEAL, only 1% will ever complete their training.
What?
The rest either quitting or being forced out due to injury. In fact, instructors
1%! In the Estonian Special Forces, 10 people join the test and 2 get in. That means 20%, you know. 20 or 10%. which is 10 to 20 times more than the Navy SEALs. 1%, what the hell? Ooh, okay, I would like to see this is a cartoon, an infographic show, it's a bad cartoon, but I would like to see the real life footage of that training. Not some kind of propaganda that join the SEALs. No, I'd like to see the unedited raw video. So if you know something, please send it to me, because it's quite hard to find good material on US Special Forces that actually you can enjoy and watch. It's hard to find it.
Constantly encourage trainees to quit, known as ringing the bell, for the iconic silver bell that can be rung in some events to indicate that you finally quit. Becoming a SEAL is a completely voluntary process, and anyone can volunteer as long as they qualify. In order to qualify, you must be an active duty member of the US Navy, be male, be 28 or younger, have at least 40/20 vision in one eye and 70/20 in the other, although corrective surgery is possible. You must also be a US citizen, pass the Armored Service Vocational Aptitude Battery, and pass an initial physical examination that includes swimming 500 yards in 12.5 minutes or less, rest for 10 minutes, then do 42 push-ups in under 2 minutes, rest for 2 minutes, do 50 sit-ups in under 2 minutes, rest again for 2 minutes, do 6 pull-ups, rest for 10 minutes, and then run 1.5 miles in boots and long pants in less than 11.5 minutes.
Okay, everything else except for the running I actually have done. What the hell, I thought it's worse. 42 push-ups in 2... I do 80 push-ups in 2 minutes. We did it in the army. And not like these fake push-ups, I mean real push-ups, 90-degree angles and everything. It's checked. 50 sit-ups, yeah, it's not a problem. I mean, it's difficult, of course. It's very difficult, but it's not that, hey, this must be wrong. I could do everything here. I can do 15 pull-ups. This must be wrong, I'm sure. I couldn't run this fast, no. Running is my weak point, I can't do that. Everything else though, yeah, not a problem for me. But I think it's fake.
If you qualify, then you're accepted into SEAL training, which starts with Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL, or BUDS training, which itself is divided up into 4 phases: Indoctrination, Basic Conditioning, Scuba Training, and Land Warfare Training. BUDS will last for 7 of the most grueling months of your life, though it starts out with the 5-week indoctrination course, where you learn what's expected of you as a SEAL and their ways. It also gives you a chance to prepare for the grueling challenges ahead of you.
So BUDS is 7 months, my conscription service was 8 months. So my service altogether, I learned the speciality, I learned how to be in the military, how to be a soldier, and it was just on easy mode compared to this. I learned the speciality, how to move, how to shoot, how to survive, how to do medics. But these guys just get, you know, hammered for 7 months, not hammered as they drunk, but just like whipped, or it's all about, you know. It's hard to speak for me sometimes, so I use sounds.
The luxury that is indoctrination is over. 8 weeks of basic conditioning begin, and this is where you'll be pushed to your physical limits and most dropouts happen. Each day you'll engage in running, swimming for 1 to 2 miles in the open ocean, calisthenics, and learning how to operate small rafts. Each of these events are timed, and your scores must improve continuously or you will be discharged. One of the most important and dangerous aspects of basic conditioning is known as drown-proofing, during which you'll learn how to swim with both your hands and feet bound together. To pass this evolution, you must complete a course where you bob for 5 minutes, float for 5 minutes, swim 100 meters, bob for 2 minutes, do some forward and backward flips, swim to the bottom of the pool and retrieve an object with your teeth, and return to the surface and bob for 5 more minutes. Yet another evolution meant to condition you mentally is known as surf torture, or cold water conditioning. Here you must do calisthenics in the surf, which is a chilly 65 degrees, and run 1.5 miles down the beach in wet clothes and boots. Then you're ordered to hop back down into the surf and do it all over again. If you've made it this far, congratulations, because before you leave this phase of training, you'll have to go through the infamous Hell Week. This is an evolution where you'll train non-stop for 5 days and...
I don't want to even hear about this. Damn. Since I have gone through the army, it doesn't even compare to this, but it was still tough for me. It was really hard. Sometimes physically, but more mentally. And it just connects back to that. When we knew some kind of heavy duty training was coming, it's just so much anxiety about this. I didn't want to do this. And now I watch this, I get like slight type of PTSD here. I know, of course not. I don't get this. It's very in fashion nowadays to say, I have PTSD. No, you don't have it, I don't have it. I just feel like I would be getting it.
5 nights, with a grand total of 4 hours of sleep. You'll begin at sundown on Sunday and end the week at sundown the next Friday. And during that time, you'll train non-stop. You'll spend Hell Week carrying your inflatable rubber Zodiac raft over your head.
Hell Week is what is the test for Estonian Special Forces. It's 7 days, you get 4 hours of sleep. First 3 days you don't get sleep, but then you get 4 hours. And you do all of that. You train non-stop, you do mental exercises, physical exercises, and you carry boats and stuff. Hell Week is basically what it takes for you to get into Estonian Special Forces. But that's the test for you to start training, so it is as tough. So respect for the guys who, if any of the Estonian Special Forces is watching, respect my man.
As you run from event to event, taking part in timed exercises, crawling through mud flats that are freezing cold, and diving into the chilly ocean for swims. You may not get much sleep, but you'll at least get 4 hot meals a day. A luxury when for most of your training you've been eating cold MREs.
Of course they show a burger. They show a pink, fleshy guy eating a burger. Infographics show, please do not force the stereotypes. I don't think they eat burgers in Navy SEALs trainings. I'm pretty sure they don't. They don't do it in Estonian Special Forces at least. But we're talking about Americans here and they use the burger image. I am furious. No, this is the wrong image to use.
The hot food is meant to be a psychological boost and comfort, as you'll be freezing solid the entire
That's the food you should have been used at the first time.
Time. This may seem excessive, but the extreme training is critical, as on a mission, you and your team's lives may depend on ignoring sub-zero temperatures and your discomfort. SEALs don't just need tough candidates though, they need intelligent ones. Throughout Hell Week, you'll be expected to listen very closely to orders, as once more in combat, hearing an order properly, no matter how mentally and physically exhausted you may be, will be critical.
I know here they cannot use a better analogy or better cartoon except for move as an order to move. No, this is an order to a soldier. Navy SEALs get orders very difficult. Their missions are very, very difficult. Even the outlines of the missions might be so difficult that you wouldn't even understand it if you hear it. You just wouldn't get it. This move, this is not an order, it's just, I think it doesn't really, just the wrong cartoon here.
For those trainees paying attention, it might even lead to a reward. For instance, an instructor may leave out part of an order to see who's actually listening.
Okay, sorry. Pisses me off. No, the worst freaking example. This is how you train robots and dogs. I think they have much, of course this is how it is in the beginning, but I think in the end they still give you these outlined detailed orders and you have to repeat it back to them. I was a communications guy. I got these long ass orders, long ass orders, many lines, many rows of text. For example, the company order, the battalion order, I got it. I had to memorize it. Sometimes I could write it down.
Vastasündile olukord, räägitud, vastane meie tegevusalas. Ehk siis vastasrood alustab ilmselt homme hommikul esimese valgusega pealetungis meie positsioonide suunas, põhja suunast.
And I had to read it back to them. And this is what it takes. Like you have to have a good listening memory. And memorization has to be really fast. And the information is so vast that you can't keep it all in the memory. You have to subconsciously know what to keep, what to throw out as it comes in. So I think this is what they're talking about now. Not this example. You're all, this is what happens in every army. It's nothing special about Navy SEALs.
Listening. If conducting exercises with a 300-pound log, the instructor may purposefully leave out mention of the log from one of the orders. And a sharp-eared trainee will catch this and be rewarded with his team doing the task without the added burden. They may even be rewarded by being allowed to stand by a fire and rest, or sit and sleep for a few precious minutes. While you're catching a few quick Z's, other teams who weren't paying attention will be lugging their heavy log around with them, only to discover at the end, much to their dismay, that doing so was completely unnecessary. If you've made it past the conditioning phase, now you're going to enter your scuba training. For 8 weeks, you'll train in a variety of scuba devices, many of them classified, and train in operations such as deploying from a submarine or conducting an airborne insertion into the ocean. After the 8-week scuba phase, you'll enter your final phase, land warfare. Here is where you'll learn things such as intelligence gathering, reconnaissance, patrolling, and close quarters battle. You'll learn how to
We learned all of those things, but I'm sure we learned them in a very surface level compared to these guys, compared to Navy SEALs. We just learned all of them, gathering and everything, but I think we learned very top of the iceberg. They learn everything.
execute assaults into enemy-held structures, and how to use edged weapons such as knives to defend yourself. You'll also learn how to react to and neutralize enemy snipers, and learn how to operate any vehicle while executing high-speed and evasive driving techniques. You'll be trained in small unit tactics and how to handle explosives, how to infiltrate enemy lines, snatch and grab techniques, and proper handling of prisoners and high-value friendly VIPs. You'll also learn how to survive in any environment and provide medical treatment if needed. If you've made it this far, then congratulations, the hard part is mostly over. From here, you'll head over to Fort Benning, Georgia for Army Airborne School, where you'll learn how to parachute from an airplane. After 3 weeks of airborne school, you'll then head to SEAL qualification training, your final phase of training. Here you'll undergo 15 weeks of additional training, which will improve basic skills and teach you new tactics and techniques required for your assignment to an active SEAL platoon. At this point, you can clap yourself on the back because you've done what 99% couldn't do. You've received your SEAL Trident pin and are officially a Navy SEAL, one of the most elite warriors the world has ever known.
Yeah, this is a proud moment for them, I'm pretty sure. I would not want to be that, never, but this is a very, if they do that. If you're a Navy SEAL, or you have been a Navy SEAL, just write in the comments if only 1% do it. Yeah, I'm sure I get like a million comments. Oh, I was in the Navy SEALs, I was a Navy SEAL. The training doesn't matter. If you drop out, I don't want you to comment. No, I don't want like a million comments that you have tried. No, I mean, if you have completed and you can't comment because it's secret. I just figured, just use a VPN, make a fake YouTube account and then comment, alright? Then no one can know that you're a Navy SEAL. This is how it could happen. Alright, we watched the video. Sorry for criticizing this video so much, but Infographics show I just almost hate everything about them, except for the narrator. The voice is good, I like the voice. I like the music, I just don't like the text, the cartoons and the style of it. No. But we had to do it because now I know much more about Navy SEALs. Before, didn't know that much. Last video was horrible. This one is also pretty horrible, but at least we got, we did it. We did what the 99% couldn't do. We watched the Infographics show. Support the channel on Patreon, please do it. It makes my life much more easier. YouTube is my job, I struggle as everybody else. I chose YouTube and Patreon. It sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. You can allow it to yourself, $1 or $2 perhaps a month. Doesn't mean much maybe to you, but it means much to me. It's my monthly income. Thank you for doing it. Also, please go and get the cup. It's a nice cup. Actually, it's really creepy and weird, but still, go and get it, right? And as always, my friends, until my next video, stay cool and bye-bye.